Well, good early evening, everybody. This is Andrew Dukowitz from Zone Coverage. This is another episode of the Missing Links podcast, and we have Terry Horstman, the do-all everything from the Next, here with me.
Thank you, Andrew, for that kind introduction. And also, I love the new mood music at the beginning of this.
You know, royalty-free nighttime music is what I go for, because normally I'm recording this at like 1 a.m.
Right. No, it has me wanting to light some candles and, just to get in a bathrobe and get comfortable and lock in. So, yeah, I like it. I like the vibe you're curating already.
Thank you. I have learned that people don't like loud noises after Lynx games when they're watching this in bed with sleeping spouses. So until I start talking, at least, it's a good vibe. I'm going to throw us over to a quick ad read here while people are jumping in. And then when we get back, we'll obviously talk Lynx aces as well as the Napheesa Collier of it all, because that's probably going to be the A topic for the next couple days. Well, hello. Thank you, Livestream Andrew. This is Ad Read Andrew. And today we have Firehawk Construction and Remodeling, the presenting sponsor for the Missing Links podcast. Firehawk Construction and Remodeling strives to inspire people to follow their ideas, working with respect and understanding to create a quality, tailored result. Firehawk Construction and Remodeling, located in Blaine and serving in the North Metro area, is here to help you with your building and remodeling needs. I can say personally, thanks to Firehawk Construction and Remodeling, I have a beautiful deck in my backyard, and countless projects that I started, they finished. Get started on your new deck or remodel today by calling Isaac at 763-710-5686. Awesome. We're back. All right. So, Terry, obviously good and bad against the Aces. The good, it is the largest road win in WNBA history as they just stomped the Aces. I guess we can get into that and bury the lead a little bit more. I mean, what did you think watching that game? I mean, it's just something about the Aces, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. And I was just befuddled with everything that was working in the first half. I kept yelling like no, just louder, but in like a good way. I think when I was also made the mistake of assembling new furniture while watching and being like, I'll get this done during breaks. And it made it take a lot longer and distract me a little bit, but I got everything. But yeah, once I saw that K-Mac was 4 for 4. Once 5 went in, it was like no, and then 6 went in, I was like no, and then 7, I yelled no, that like every one of my neighbors heard me. So yeah, it was just that kind of comprehensive beatdown, and the Aces, punted on it pretty quick. And I know we already have a question about Phee, and that's something we'll talk about. It's one of those games where it's like, the luxury of beating someone by too much too early, because I don't think we should spend a lot of time being like, why was she in the game? Like, it was the third quarter. You gotta have 5 players out there for every minute of the game. And even, when there was the very, very end of the game, and I know we'll talk about why Diamond didn't play, but like Heidemann's in there too. And it's just like, I kind of figured like, oh yeah, but you got to take her, or you'd have to put, like someone like Courtney back in there for something. So anyway, everyone played amazing. Jessica Shepard is awesome. Anytime you bring up plus minus to Cheryl Reeve, she will tell you that she doesn't love the plus minus stat. And, lots of catch-all stats. We can just debate anything. And no matter what you feel about plus minus, plus 46 is a goofy ass thing to be in a box score anywhere. I asked Kayla about that as she was sitting next to Jess, and like Kayla just started laughing, and Jess had like kind of just the most, knowing smirk on her face. So it was a perfect game. So of course something bad had to happen. I blame the Minnesota Twins because I'm blaming them for everything. This is the Twins' fault. If you are a person who is, writing a strongly worded email to them right now about how you're not renewing your season tickets, which you shouldn't be, add on Napheesa Collier's ankle injury.
A couple more just weird stat things that I want to throw out. Kosu and Alana Smith were both the bottom dwellers of the plus minus at plus 10. That's insane. Courtney Williams over the last 8 quarters of basketball has 22 assists and 1 turnover. That's mind-blowing good point guard play.
Yeah.
And I mean, K-Mac, like 8 threes in a half is absurd.
It is.
And
that's why, man, I wish the Aces had played better, because when K-Mac missed those first 2 in the second half and they were still leading by more. And of course, once Phee got hurt, you weren't going to put K-Mac back in. So,
exactly.
K-Mac saying they got lucky because both those threes felt good in regards to the 2 she missed in the third quarter. Yeah, so that is just a ridiculous performance.
Let's go orders of operations. So Cole here asks in the chat, do you think Phee is seriously hurt? Ankles, I'll just say what I tweeted out was, I'm glad it's an ankle and not something more serious, because Phee has dealt with plantar fasciitis both at UConn and last season. Phee has been dealing with back issues. She, wears an ankle brace because she obviously deals with ankle issues. Weirdly, she wasn't wearing it tonight. Normally she wears the right ankle brace. Wasn't today. So that might just be conspiracy theorists pointing to, we need to have Phee wrapped in bubble wrap at all times. But she played 26 minutes. So I've gotten some messages on Twitter too of saying, this is on Cheryl, but
no,
like, she's in the MVP race and she played 26 minutes.
And she was about to be subbed out.
Right.
Too.
So
maybe at that quarter timeout. I know when Becky took the Vegas starters out, she did it fairly early.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be like, all right, you guys want to mess around? I can swear on your show, right? Fuck around, that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Fuck around, find out. And I wasn't convinced that they weren't coming back in the game.
Yeah.
Not to say that the win was in doubt at all. It wasn't, but it just, it feels, you can do this anytime anyone gets hurt. So I don't think we should belabor the point. On reasons to feel optimistic about it. My colleague, Lucas Seehofer, who knows more about injuries in the WNBA than the WNBA themselves, because while they didn't track injury data for a long time, he started doing it. In our Slack channel during the game, he said, there's a good chance it's not as bad as it looks. Ankles are notorious for looking terrible and actually not being that bad. In the post he put out publicly, he did throw in an vice versa, don't try to predict too much here. Yeah. But it being an ankle thing, and the fact that Phee was putting weight on it as she walked off, the great Chuck Barta was assisting her the whole way back to the locker room, but also Phee was in the locker room with the team after the game. She did not immediately leave.
And MV Mila.
And MV Mila was in there as well. And in good spirits. So that doesn't mean anything one way or the other, but that's just what we know. We're not going to try and guess, but I think if you have to if you're playing Operation, or you have a voodoo doll and you have to say some lower body injury, the ankle is maybe what you'd hope for. And it was just a total freak thing too. Stepping on a foot, going for a rebound can happen on any play.
And Land goes down with these ankle injuries twice a game. I mean,
right.
T, we thought was, dead to rights, sitting. She was the most sad version of Natisha Heidemann on the bench that I've ever seen. And then she's back the next game. I think I would be cautiously optimistic that maybe she misses a game, because she is Napheesa Collier. This season if she is out, the season is done. So maybe they rest her for a week or something, just like they did with the low back. There's no reason to rush her back with a 5.5 game lead for the 1 seed. But once I found out it was an ankle, I felt quite a bit better about it. K-Max Braids, first off, love your username. I see you on Twitter all the time. You're awesome. New chant MV Mila, I agree. Put it on a shirt, just like third quarter Kosu. I keep saying we need third quarter Kosu shirts. That is the victory cigar of this team. I'm going to throw us over to one more ad read. When we get back, we'll talk Diamond Miller and we'll do some fan questions. And we're back with another ad read. This time for Pence Homes, the presenting sponsor of Hitting the Hardwood Network. From the best tools and technology to transparency throughout the entire process, Nate Pence and the Pence Homes team is the top choice for buyers, sellers, and is proud to support you and your home ownership goals. Get started today by calling 612-308-1122 or by emailing info@pencehomes.com.
I love that Nate has that epic photo of him in a Lynx jersey screaming at a game right below his very professional headshot. He can do both.
I don't know if Nate watches this on YouTube.
Oh, he does.
But yeah, that was me Googling Nate Pence and being like, wow, that's the first picture that shows up, huh? Okay. Yeah, that's going underneath his professional headshot now. For people listening to this tomorrow on Spotify, none of that matters. Nate Pence, awesome courtside diehard Lynx fan. Use him as a realtor or don't, but I would recommend it. Seems like a nice guy. Anyways, so we're back. Diamond Miller, DNP today. I did my best to
DNP in a 53-point win, which is
did my best to give Cheryl an out by saying, was it an injury related? Not feeling good. And Cheryl, to her credit, doesn't lie and said, no, we just, it was unfortunate she didn't get in there. We wanted to see more Kosu minutes. To me, that is probably the biggest indication that Diamond is in trade discussions that I have heard so far from colleagues or Twitter sleuths alike. Because why, if you weren't concerned about her getting an injury because of a trade or because she's in those talks to maybe land somebody, why wouldn't she be out there? Terry, I'll throw it to you.
Yeah, I think that was the first thing I thought of, was that she's got to be in fairly advanced trade talks. Because if the interest isn't there, then you kind of need to play her more and build up that trade value and be like, hey, look at Diamond go in transition. Like she can help your team. Why doesn't this guy help you? Great question. We'll get to that. I hate that. I don't. I love this rule. Diamond is definitely it's been such an enigma, like kind of all season, on what kind of value she has in any kind of trade proposal, whatever. And the first thing that I thought of, and I don't have insider knowledge on this topic itself, but that Diamond has played well enough to be probably close to a team, like maybe at the bottom of the league, that's just trying to add salary and get draft capital or whatever. And the only thing that could interrupt that kind of deal would be an injury in the game or 2 games before it actually goes down. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if we get email on Sunday or Monday before they go to Seattle. I think they're already in Seattle, so I imagine if anything hasn't happened yet, Diamond is there with the team. But man, I don't understand really like how, like the logic of, if she's on the Lynx and gonna be there for the rest of the season and is healthy and isn't playing in a 53-point win, I think that's protecting a trade asset that's probably pretty close to leaving. And I hope it's a good situation for her, because I do love Diamond. But
Diamond has been one of the most fun people to cover in my 2 years. Like, she's just always in a good mood. She's always upbeat. She's always cheering her team on, even though, like, to be honest, her situation kind of sucks. Like, yes, winning a championship and playing in the finals is really appealing to players, but she is a former number 2 overall pick that is now just kind of the very end of a really good bench. Like if she gets traded in a Maybury trade and she winds up in Connecticut next year, Boston, I think
it
that
would
is
be
going
2 years. That's 2027 at the earliest.
Oh God. 2027 at the earliest, Boston. I think that would be awesome for Diamond, just to get a ton of minutes and just be able to play and be free. Ben notes that they're in the sky right now. They probably are in the sky right now. So
That's
we have
a
at
quick
least
flight, though. They could have landed by now. I don't think they've landed by now, but
Cole asks, why doesn't this guy help cover the Timberwolves with you, Andrew? I will say, so Terry works for the Next, which I believe is a WNBA exclusive.
It's women's basketball exclusive.
Women's
So we
basketball
have
exclusive.
WNBA. We have beat writers in every WNBA city, covering every college basketball conference and a lot of international women's basketball as well. So that is the reason why. It's not because I was a public relations employee with the Timberwolves 10 years ago and things didn't end well. Things ended great. But I just, there's a handful of things going on, and I envy the people who can be at NBA arenas like 45% of the nights of the year. And I'm not one of those people, and I just get to cover the Lynx, and it's cool. But I am a Timberwolves fan, and I'm locked in on the Wolves and enjoying Andrew's coverage as well as the rest of the very talented journalists we have in this market who cover the Wolves.
Terry is being a little too humble. I will say that he is a newly married man. And as somebody who has been married for, it'll be 10 years in October, I have built up enough ill will or goodwill to where my wife is very supportive of me not being home all 7 days and nights of the week. Or I've built up enough goodwill to where she lets me do this, and it misses me dearly while I'm gone. I don't know which one that is, but either way, Terry, newly married, planning a wedding, planning honeymoons. He's had a lot more going on than yours truly.
Well, thank you, Andrew. And the wedding was great. We'll go on a honeymoon at some point, I'm sure.
If anyone else has any other questions in the chat, by all means throw them in there. We're always happy to answer stuff, but I am going to throw it back over to Terry here one more time and just say, the last time we saw Seattle, it was one of the very, very, very few losses the Lynx had, and it was in Seattle's home court. What are your kind of thoughts this time around?
It's hard, because it would have been hard coming off of a 53-point victory without Phee getting hurt still. Seattle's also a team I can't figure out. Their wins look amazing. Their losses are pretty befuddling. They just dropped one in overtime at home to the Sparks, but don't look now, but the Sparks might be good? ? Everything is crazy. 2 through 12, no, 2 through 11 in this league is fun right now. One, you have the Lynx just kind of on top, staring down at creation. 2 through 11 are separated by not a lot. I think 2 through 9 or 2 through 10, it's 9 games total. So it's 1 game per slot. And then in the 11th spot, you have the Wings, who are just playing a lot better, not necessarily stacking wins, but playing a lot better. I think you have the Sun and the Sky, who are tanking, and I don't know why the Sky are tanking, because the Lynx get the pick.
I don't think they're intentionally tanking.
Their injury list is tough. So based on what this team's doing right now, I feel pretty good about a win on Tuesday. It's kind of one of those games where I wouldn't be surprised if anything happens. One of their worst games last season came in Seattle on just a night that that was their, I think they had 1 blowout loss all year last year, and it was a 27-point loss at Seattle. The Storm are a good team. Can't overlook them. They're just weird though. So this kind of feels like I'm talking myself into this is a 7-point loss where just a bunch of goofy shit happens. But I'm feeling more optimistic than that. So I think they'll win in a close one. But we'll obviously stay tuned for the Phee news.
I'm gonna rifle through some comments here. Caleb says if Kayla plays even just 80% of what she did today, the team is winning the title. Yeah, I mean, if Kayla is going to be like a all WNBA caliber shooting guard that goes 8 for 8 from 3 in the first half, if she turns that from 8 to 8 to 6 to 6, I think we're probably have a good chance at it. Ben, yes, thank you to the Sky for losing. That always helps. He also asks if Diamond is traded, do we need to attach a draft pick? I think it depends. I think if Diamond is traded with Carly's salary filler, probably need a draft pick in there to convince a team to take Carly. Right. But that would be a huge deal. That would be you're getting a $200,000 player back. If it's just Diamond, I mean, maybe a second round pick, but like I think Diamond has recouped some value.
Right. But I wouldn't move Diamond unless it means getting something for this season.
Yeah.
And I don't know who that would be at that sort of similar salary if it's not combined with Carly's salary. And then you need to attach probably some good stuff in 2027, 2028. Because all they have to trade in 2026 is their third round pick. Because as we stated several times, that Chicago pick ain't going anywhere. That can't be in any trades. That's got to be the most untouchable asset you have. So yeah, if it's just like, hey, we're adding along the margins, we're getting some. I can't even think of a name of a veteran who that could just be like a 1-for-1 with Diamond that would get some kind of meaningful playing time off the top of my head. But yeah, I think you look for a draft pick to be attached because that means it's probably pretty exciting. And maybe it's Marina Mabry, who we can't not talk about until the deadline's over.
Until she's on a different team, I will talk about Mabry every game. I'm going to rifle through some more here. Cole says, last question for me. Why are the Liberty still favored to win the chip? I think the Liberty at full strength until the Lynx beat them, they're probably just going to be favored. That's just Vegas doesn't. Vegas doesn't do real life. They do where people are betting.
Right.
So
that's what I was going to
say. Money is going on the Liberty. They're going to put Liberty as the favorite.
Well, and I think it's if they are fully healthy by the playoffs, it is different. Though that loss in Connecticut was pretty inexcusable. And I loved all of the shots of Emma. That was the first game Emma was on the bench for. She didn't play, but she was on the bench, not looking too thrilled. And just all the captions, is it too late to sign with the Lynx? And it does appear to be. Sorry. But
JPEG hits flat. Okay. What's the rule with removing injured player from your roster? So if you cut them, I think you have to pay a base part of their salary still. I don't know what that is, but if you trade them, you can use their salary money because it's going to a team that'll pay them. It's one of the weird times in life where NBA 2K doesn't match real life. So if you're starting a franchise with the Lynx and you forget to turn injuries, set pre-existing injuries off, and you start the season and Carly's injured and you're like, crap, you can't trade her in 2K, but in real life you could trade her. So it's weird because there's this kind of stigma that injured players can't be traded. They can. The reason Utah got Nickeil Alexander-Walker was because they traded Joe Ingles to Portland, and Joe had a blown ACL. Anyways, Ben asks this one. I'm going to throw this one over to you, Terry, and then we can wrap up here because I know you are on a little bit of a time crunch. But what are your thoughts on Edwards from the Mystics or Stevens from LA as being trade targets?
They are trade targets. I think Stevens, you would have to attach some draft capital to get. I really like Azurá Stevens. I think one of my first written pieces ever for the Next was about how she made sense during like that free agency period. But I think she's played her way out of kind of a move around the margins. Like that would be kind of a big deal. Same Edwards, I'd be really excited about as well. And if it's, Diamond and your 2027 second, maybe your 2027 not or your 2027 first. I wouldn't be too upset about any firsts that the Lynx own, because I think this team's probably going to be pretty good. It would need to be, some crazy stuff to happen, but you still don't want to move those picks if you don't have to. If it's a first round pick going for Edwards, I'd be like, but also with her being a 2024 draft pick, there's some good team control stuff there and some CBA things. So I'm pretty into acquiring Aaliyah Edwards somehow. But I don't think you can say like, oh, we weren't finals favorites before, but now that we have Aaliyah Edwards, we're for sure finals favorites. I don't know if it does that for you, but it's similar to the Maisha acquisition last year, where in certain spots she gives you absolutely everything you need there, and in even more so, like, she's a young player on team control contract. So there's a lot of flexibility and potential there that you didn't get with the Maisha deal. So I like Edwards a lot, and I think that should be a name to watch.
She's another Husky, right?
Yep.
Cheryl loves Huskies.
She does.
I mean, she does. I'm going to keep on the Marina Mayberry trade team bandwagon train, because, like, if you could get K-Mac and BC's minutes to 28 and you just give the Diamond minutes some of T's minutes, and you have Mayberry out there throwing elbows and doing Mayberry stuff, all for it.
Well, Mayberry they will, and Mayberry they won't, Andrew.
And that is the Missing Lynx podcast postcast with Terry Horstman from The Next. He also hosts Lynx Happy Hour here on the Hitting the Hardwood Network. Terry, any final thoughts?
Well, I just want to react to JPEG's latest comment that Phee posted a K-Mac tough story. Good sign. I mean, it shows that her phone and her thumbs are working, which are both probably important. Yeah, we'll call it it's not a bad sign.
Yeah, it's not a bad sign. If she didn't post at all, wouldn't have been a bad sign, but
still, this is this is good. And yeah, we'll be just keep refreshing the email to see if something from Lynx PR comes.
As soon as I see it, I will screenshot it, clip it down, and
it
then
won't be tonight. It will not be tonight, but
no,
sometimes
it will not be tonight. With that though, thank you everyone to checked in. 349 people came by the live. That's awesome. I appreciate all of you guys. If you popped in late, by all means, this will be up on Spotify tomorrow morning, Sunday the 3rd at 7 a.m. And we will be back Tuesday after the Storm game. For Terry, I'm Andrew from Zone Coverage, and this has been the Missing Lynx postcast.